What's up, everyone? Welcome back to ADV Rich. I'm Rich, and today we're going to be installing a new tire on my Honda XR650. This isn't really going to be a how-to video, but I am going to give you guys some pointers, some tips and tricks on how to get this done the easiest way possible. With that being said, we're going to jump right into it. First things first, get this axle nut off. That'll keep everything in order. We were on chain adjustment 26, you guys remember that, let me know later. I may need a rubber mallet. Actually, I might get it out. There we go. I'm already sweating, guys. It's freaking 80 degrees out here today. What in the heck? Oh, yeah. Son of a gun. That was really in there. Put that there and give that a little bit of cleaning later. Pop that chain off. Slide that wheel out. Don't forget which spacers go where. That goes on this side. That goes on this side. Like that. We got our wheel out. I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. With the wheel out, I like to go ahead and clean up in here a little bit with some WD-40. Now where the axle goes through and stuff. I like to go ahead and push those pads in a little bit, push the piston on the caliper in a little bit so it's easier to slide the wheel back on there when you're messing around with that later. Alright, with that clean, we'll clean up this stuff now. I like to give it just a quick rub down. Clean that axle off. Take your valve stem nut off. Let as much air as you can out of the tube, but leave some air in. Pretty much doing this until it stops blowing air out should be the perfect amount. Yep, it's pretty soft. It's so hot today, guys, I had to move into the shade over here, so sorry for the weird camera angle. Gotta do what we can out here. And it works. And get your body on the other side. It's off the bead on that side. Yep. Come over to this side. Yep. Get yourself a good pair of tire irons. 3 works best. Made for dirt bikes and motorcycles, I recommend. Tusk, of course. And no joke, these are really perfect for this job. They're made for dirt bikes. The lip on these spoons is perfect to get around your, look at that, it's made to fit around a motorcycle rim. Probably the #1 thing everybody messes up on this job, the #1 secret is the drop center. In the center of this rim, there's a spot that is lower than the rest of the rim, which allows if you drop the opposite side of your tire into there, it gives you enough play on the other side that you pry it right out without having to fight it. So watch. I like to take my knee, put it on the tire, drop it into the drop center. Alright. So get your knees on the wheel across opposite of where you're prying. Drop the tire into the drop center and spread it out too. Get your second, let a little bit of pressure off, get your second iron in there. Remember, small bites like that. Get your long iron, because this third one is usually somewhat hard to get over. That, probably your third one over. Hold tight. Drop her into the drop center. Well, because I was filming, I forgot to put the lube on. Don't ever forget that. I like to use just a little bit of soapy water. I had to take a little intermission there. There we go. Just like that. The hardest part is over. Boom, one side done. Flip it over. Do the same thing to the other side, and I'm going to wash this rim off after we get the tire off, so don't worry about that. Side's a little bit harder because of the sprocket. You can take it off, but who's got time for that? But also, this side will be a little bit easier because we already have the other bead off. The other side of the tire pried off. Or have I spoken too soon? Don't know. Did the front tire yesterday. It was a lot easier than this. But we're getting there. But it's only hard for a minute, and then once you get it pried off, somewhat, it becomes extremely easy. Both ends off. I like to go the end opposite of the valve stem, drop that down into the rim like that. Take it this way. Take your big lever. Put a pry on that. Put your knee on that. Take a second lever. Put a pry on that. And then put your foot on that. Take your third lever. Put a pry on that. And then watch this. Boom. Just like that. Rim is out. And I'm sweating. Cool. Pop your tube out, see how it did. Looks like we didn't blow anything out. Give your tube a little inspection. If you want to reuse it, go right ahead. This one's looking pretty good, a little bit rusty around the valve stem, but that'll happen. Alright, I'll see you guys when we're putting in the new tire. Alright, so I cleaned up the rim. You want to make sure your rim tape's still in good shape right there. All looking good. Make sure it's in the right position where your valve stem feeds through. Get all the crud out the best you can. You don't have to go too crazy. It's just going to get rubbed on by the tire again. And that's ready for the reinstall. I'll see you guys there. I grabbed a piece of wood so we could keep the rim and tire clean as we put it on. Here's our new tire. We're running a, what do we got here? I guess we went with the old Shinko E700A Dual Sport Trailmaster. We'll see. Looks pretty good. Rotational tire, always check that. Going that way. Direction rotation is that way. So I'm going to toss this thing on. I'll let you guys see how we do that. Alright, so for this, you want to have your tube filled up. Not fully, but enough that it holds its shape. You could probably even go a little bit less than this. Kind of like that. A little bit flimsy, but still holding its shape. That's gonna help prevent you from pinching it when you're installing it and popping it, making you have a bad day, having to redo it and waste a tube. To start, take your tube, put it inside the tire. A little bit of spider webs in there. I've had this tire waiting for a while in my shed. Pull the crud out. Take your tube. Stuff it inside your new tire without popping it. This tire is quite stiff. I left it out in the sun to warm it up. Hopefully that helps us out. Alright, stuff your tube in your tire. Start with the valve stem. There we go. Kind of pull the tube out of the tire a little bit by the valve stem to get it started. Pop your nut on there. That's going to hold your tube in close to the perfect position that this ends up straight when you're done. Get it tight but loose because you're going to be yanking on stuff. Alright, get your tire kind of on there to start. Take your lube. It's kind of good to flip it around and lube it up on the opposite side. Like that. Lube up your bead that's going to be going on. Okay. Then, another mistake people make here, you only want to get the one bead on first. So the back one, so like this. Watch. Try to keep your tube from pinching in there too much. Like that as you go. Like that. Keep your tube from pinching in there as you go. That out. Might be able to just pull this out. Go with the old big dog. This thing comes in handy, especially on this part. Just take your time. More lube. See how much of a difference the lube makes. Bust that thing on there. You got one side on. Okay? Now, before you continue, really make sure your valve stem is as straight as you might want it. Take your lube, lube up this side of the bead. just enough that you make contact with the rim, so you're not pinching your tube. See? Hopefully you guys can see that. Pull your center one out, knee on that. Same thing, just barely put it underneath the edge of that. And I find the pivot method really works to keep your valve stem nice and straight, because you keep pulling it opposite and opposite. See that? Excuse that noise, got a big tractor coming by. Just like that, guys. See how easy it is. And you take your time. Just barely. Sliding it under there. Our valve stem's looking good. Just barely, until you feel it slip on there. Like that. This is where it gets a little bit weird when you're pivoting. Make sure you always wear eye protection when you do this as well. These things can fly out and take your eye out. Sometimes things occur. You have to stop with the pivot towards the end, but our valve stem is looking great. Just take your time, guys, just like that. Don't rush, don't spaz out. Don't pinch your tube. Just like that. A little bit tough at the end there. That's where this big guy comes in handy. It slides right in. Watch this, the magic moment, guys, that everyone has trouble with. That's it. That's an install. And look at that. Our valve stem is perfectly straight. Beautiful. Tighten that down a little bit more. For now, we're going to reinstall that rubber piece, but for now, tighten it down pretty good so it stays perfectly in position. I'm going to get a paper towel. Make sure this is all clean around the bead, and then we're going to fill it up and pop it onto the bead on both sides. See you guys in a minute. You don't want any crud getting in there. You seal this bad boy up. Take your pump. Pop it on. Inflate it to like 30 or 40 psi. Probably like 40 to get the bead seated. As you can see, it's already starting to seat on there. It's not really going to be a pop like a car. Yep, and as I'm going, I'm just making sure my pump's showing that it's holding the pressure. Those bubbles you see coming out, that's not from a blown tube. That's coming out by the valve stem. That's just the air inside of the tire coming out as you're displacing it with the tube filling up. One time I thought I popped my tube when that started happening. A little bit rough with a hand pump. I'm dead here. These are supposed to be at 22 psi for the XR, but we're going to go up to like 30 just to seat the bead on there really good, and then we'll drop it down. Cool. go ahead and inspect around your bead. Sure it's seated on there nice. And we're looking pretty good. Looking super tight all the way around. Once you got her installed, pop that nut off again. I don't know what setup your bike will have, but this is what mine has, and it's quite nice. Pop that nut off. Clean up around there again. Rid of all that soap. Take your little rubber piece, your little sealer. Spin that on there. Spin that on until it's seated on the rim. Nice and tight, because that's what's going to keep the crud out of that little opening. See that? I don't know if you guys can see that. Nice and smooth. Then take your nut. Put the nut on there. Some people will say leave this loose. I don't agree. I'm not running a rim lock on this. So I'm not going to go super tight, but I'm not going to go like some people would say, like leave it like that. Like, nah, I ain't doing that. I go till it's like hand tight, where I go like just enough tight. Put some pressure on that rubber. Keep that nice and seated on the rim there. Clean her up, take your cap. Do it right, your cap should just screw on enough. Boom. Just like that. Super clean valve stem look. That's it. I'll catch up with you guys by the bike. We'll throw this back on. For this, I'm going to throw on some gloves. I'm going to grease some stuff up. I'm just going to have to deal with it, alright? Take your grease, whatever kind you want. Just your typical all-purpose STP grease from AutoZone. Works fine for me. That, I like to toss a little bit inside the wheel hub. And also take a little bit on this side. Nothing crazy, but I kind of like to go a little bit OD. Keep your parts lasting longer. Don't get your finger stuck in there. Get your wheel done. Toss a little bit inside your spacers. And on the outside right there, not on the outside there. Get that ready to go. Same deal on this spacer. A little bit on the outside, a little bit on the inside. Like that, that's chilling over there. Take your axle. And lube that thing up. Just enough to make things move smoothly and prevent some of the wear, reduce some of the wear. It's still going to wear over time. Just like that. Get that ready. Keep it in a clean spot right there for now. Take your spacers, put them back on the exact same size they came off of. That one there. This one there. For this, I like to get close here to the tire and kind of use my leg to support it so it's the right height. Keep your spacers in place like that. Just got to get everything aligned. It takes a minute. Once you get it close, get your axle ready. Get that started. Boom, just like that. I like to toss the chain back on now. It helps it stay in position while you get everything ready. If you don't have a torque wrench, just go with about 100 ugga-duggas like this. That tight. Make sure your tire spins good. Chain looks good in the line, nice and straight. Good tension just like before. Remember, this is a dirt bike. It's going to be a lot of play in the suspension. That should be good. Well, we might have to come in a little bit. My chain has slacked out a little bit. So I'm going to make that adjustment and I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright guys, we went up one more notch on the adjuster. Now that is looking perfect. I think you guys would agree. About 4 fingers. 3 fingers there is where I usually measure it. Spinning good, spinning freely. Chain looks nice and straight. I'll show you guys the finished result here in a minute.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la.
Alright y'all, and with that we got 2 new tires installed and we're ready for a summer of adventures. We got to start taking them soon before it gets way too hot like it already is. I'm absolutely sweating. I got to get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for my next video. It's going to be epic. And until next time, I'm going to have to catch you later. ADV Rich, out.